The Battle of Hastings, fought in 1066, stands as one of the most decisive and historic battles in English history. The story begins with the death of King Edward the Confessor in January 1066. Edward died without leaving a clear heir, sparking a succession crisis that would plunge England into a struggle for the crown. At the heart of this dispute were three key claimants: Harold Godwinson, William, Duke of Normandy, and Harold Hardrada, King of Norway. Harold Godwinson, a powerful Anglo-Saxon noble and the Earl of Wessex, was swiftly crowned King of England following Edward's death. Harold had the support of the English nobility and was seen as a legitimate homegrown ruler. However, William of Normandy claimed that Edward had promised him the throne during a previous visit to Normandy and that Harold had sworn to support his claim. Feeling betrayed, William began preparations to invade England to enforce his right. Meanwhile, Harold Hardrada of Norway, another contender, also aimed to press his claim to the English throne, aligning with Tostig Godwinson, Harold's exiled brother. The battle's origins lay in both dynastic rivalry and political ambition. England's strategic position, its wealth, and the authority of its crown made the succession a prize worth fighting for. In the months following Edward's death, William gathered a fleet of ships and an army of Norman knights and infantry, meticulously planning an invasion across the English Channel. He secured the support of the Pope, who provided a banner of blessing, lending the campaign religious legitimacy and boosting morale among his troops. Simultaneously, King Harold faced the threat from the north. Harold Hardrada landed in northern England and with a large force, quickly defeated local defenders at the Battle of Fulford near York. Harold Godwinson, demonstrating remarkable military skill and endurance, rapidly marched his army north from London, covering approximately 200 miles in just a few days, to confront the Norwegian invaders. At the Battle of Stamford Bridge, Harold decisively defeated Hardrada and Tostig killed both claimants. This victory, however, came at a cost. Harold's forces were fatigued, diminished in number, and many soldiers had been lost in the northern campaign, leaving England vulnerable to William's impending invasion from the south. While Harold was preoccupied with northern defense, William's fleet crossed the English Channel, landing at Pevensey on September 28, 1066. He quickly fortified his position and began raiding nearby territories to provoke Harold into battle. Harold, learning of the Norman landing, immediately marched his exhausted army south to meet this new threat. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of English history. The two armies prepared along the ridge near Hastings, a strategic location that offered the Normans room to maneuver their cavalry while the English established defensive positions on higher ground. The battle's initial phases involved a clash of infantry and archers, with Harold's forces forming a strong shield wall to repel Norman cavalry charges. The intensity of the fight, the discipline of Harold's men, and the tactics employed by both sides shaped the first hours of combat. By the end of the first part of the battle, neither side had yet achieved a decisive breakthrough, but the stage was set for a dramatic and pivotal conclusion. The leadership, strategy, and valor displayed by both armies would determine the fate of England. As the sun rose on October 14, 1066, the two armies faced each other near the town of Hastings, on the rolling hills of East Sussex. Harold Godwinson is exhausted, but determined Anglo-Saxon forces had formed a formidable shield wall along the ridge. Thousands of warriors stood shoulder to shoulder, shields locked, axes and spears at the ready. Across the battlefield, William of Normandy's army of armored knights, archers, and infantry prepared for the assault, their banners fluttering in the morning wind, the papal standard lending them a sense of divine favor. The battle began with the volleys of arrows from Norman archers raining upon the English line. Yet Harold's men held firm, their shields absorbing the attack, their discipline unbroken. William watched carefully, knowing that a direct assault on the shield wall would be costly. Hours passed, the battle swinging back and forth, with neither side gaining a clear advantage. Every charge met with fierce resistance, every push repelled with deadly efficiency. The clash of metal, the cries of the wounded, and the relentless pounding of the Norman cavalry set the scene for a struggle that would decide the fate of a kingdom. Then came a decisive turn. At a critical moment, a rumor spread among the English. William had fallen. Some of Harold's men broke ranks, charging down the hill to seize what they thought was victory. William, however, was very much alive. He seized the opportunity, rallying his knights, turning the tide. The Normans feigned retreat, drawing more of Harold's men from the safety of their shield wall. The English lines thinned, gaps forming under the relentless Norman assaults. In the late afternoon, as the sun dipped low, the moment of truth arrived. Harold Godwinson, the last hope of the Anglo-Saxon throne, was struck by an arrow to the eye. Legend says it pierced his crown and fell amidst his warriors. With their king gone, the morale of the English army was shattered. The Normans pressed their advantage, cutting down those who resisted and capturing those who fled. The battle, which had raged for hours with incredible intensity, ended in a decisive Norman victory. William of Normandy emerged as the victor, earning the title William the Conqueror. He secured the English crown on Christmas Day 1066, marking the beginning of Norman rule in England. The aftermath of Hastings reshaped the kingdom entirely. Norman culture, language, architecture, and governance spread across England, leaving a lasting imprint that still resonates today. Castles rose across the land, feudal structures were enforced, and the Anglo-Saxon elite were replaced or absorbed. England had entered a new era. The Battle of Hastings stands as a testament to strategy, courage, and the fragile nature of power. If you found this deep dive into the Battle of Hastings fascinating, make sure to like this video. Leave a comment and subscribe for more stories that uncover the hidden layers of history. Don't miss the next chapter of legendary battles and heroic warriors.